So most of this video is going to be me just being like, what? Because that's pretty much exactly what I thought when I was reading this book. Hello everyone, and welcome to Kat's Corner, where today we are discussing Caraval by Stephanie Garber. So this book follows two sisters, one's named Scarlett, one is named Donatello, and they have never left the island that they have lived on their entire life because their father has forbidden it. Scarlett has been writing these letters to the master of Caraval, his name is Legend, for 7 years. Now that Scarlett is engaged, she no longer thinks that she can see Caraval. But this year, her invitation finally arrived, and Legend has invited her to see Caraval. He's invited her, her sister, and her fiance. Only once they arrive, Tella is kidnapped by Legend. This year's Caraval revolves around Tella, and whoever finds her first gets this year's prize of 1 wish. Scarlett has been told throughout this game that everything is just a game, none of this is real, it's just an elaborate performance, but nonetheless, she does end up being immersed in a game of love, heartbreak, and magic with other players, and whether this whole game is real or not, she must find Tella before the 5 Nights of Caraval are up. This book, guys, have you any of you guys read this yet? If you read it, you know what I mean, because like this was just so good. So brief non-spoilery section, because I really want to discuss all the spoilery things in this book. I really loved all of the characters. Scarlett was a very strong main character, and I really liked Julian. Not like at first, but he like grew on me 10 chapters in. I was like, huh, I kind of like you, Julian. I loved her writing style. It was just so pretty and poetic, and I loved the plot. I loved Caraval. I loved all of the bright colors that came with it. I really loved this book. I gave it 5 out of 5 stars, and I highly recommend it, and if you have not picked this up yet, go pick it up and read it. So now we're going into the spoilery section, because like I need to discuss all the things. If you have not picked up this book yet, what are you doing? Go pick it up, go read it, go love it, then come back and we can all discuss it. Bye, non-spoilery people. So I really liked the letters that are throughout this book. I loved them at the very beginning, and I loved the format that they were told in. I found that was very, very cool. When they arrived at the island that Caraval was taking place, I was like, Julian and Scarlett forever. I loved her enchanted dress. That was like one of my favorite parts, was how her dress changed, and it also changed depending on how she felt, and it was just so cool. I want to dress like that. So then we meet Dante, and at first I'm like, is he Legend? Or is he just like a player? I actually thought he was Legend at first because he seems kind of mysterious. Is he Legend? And then after I was like, well, maybe he's not Legend. I don't think Legend would be introduced like that quickly. So I'm like, then is he her fiance? Like I knew he was someone important, but I didn't know like how important he was, and I felt like he was important when we first met him. So I'm like, who is this guy? But then it turns out he's one of the actors in Caraval. Okay, so the potion that Scarlett drank that made her colorblind except for certain things, that was really cool. And she had a day of her life lost. And then during this like day, she has this really weird like dream. It was really weird. And then you see Julian as Legend, and I was like, what? It was like the first time I said what in this novel. He's Legend? What is going on? Has Scarlett fallen in love with Legend? At this point, I'm like, I can't trust anyone, you know? If Julian's really Legend, then like, I don't want them together, because if he's Legend, then like, oh, what? It was a fantastic moment to read, because all of a sudden you're like, who can you trust? And that answer is no one. And then you find out that Rosa was Julian's sister, and so then I'm like, oh, poor Julian, but like, can I still trust you? And then we meet her fiance. I didn't really like him. He's teamed up with her dad, and her dad finds her at Caraval, and I'm like, stop. You need to leave. Like, get out. I didn't actually like her fiance at first. I was like, he teamed up with her dad? What? I don't trust him because he teamed up with her dad to find her and to take her home. And then her dad hurts Julian, and I'm like, no, how dare he hurt Julian? Julian is so, well, you know, you still can't entirely trust him. He's a better choice for Scarlett than her fiance. So then we meet Legend. And this moment with Scarlett and Legend just fighting each other verbally really reminded me of, like, in Disney movies, you have the protagonist meet the antagonist, and they aren't fighting yet, but you can feel it building up. I really enjoyed those scenes, like, in the movies, and, like, when I read this, I immediately thought of that. And then you find out that Julian teamed up with Legend. He's a traitor? But then he left a message apologizing and basically admitting that he was a traitor to Legend. Legend kills him. This can't be happening right now. Are you joking? And Tella then falls in love with Legend, and it comes full circle because her grandma fell in love with Legend. Then she jumps and she dies. And I just felt so bad for Scarlett because not only did she lose Julian, but she lost her sister too. So pretty much she's lost everyone she loves, and her father is gonna force her back to the Isle and marry this awful count. And I just felt so bad for her. And then we find out that Legend is an actor. What? He's not even the real Legend. That's why he couldn't grant her the wish, is because he is not Legend. And then Tella is alive. And then I'm like, how? We saw her die. How is she alive? When players die, they die. So why is Tella alive? But at least we find out why Julian and Dante are alive. And then Tella mentions next game, and I'm like, what? There's gonna be another game? And Julian and Scarlett got their happily ever after, and I was like, a praise bless. And then this mysterious man hands Tella a note. All we know is that Tella made a deal with someone, but the note is signed a friend. So is it Legend? Did she make a deal with Legend? Because we know that she's been passing notes back and forth with Legend a year before they were invited to Caraval. And I'm just so excited to see how all of this wraps up. If you've read this book, let me know down below some of your thoughts and your feelings on it, because I would love to know what you think, and I would love to see some of your theories on it too. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my YouTube channel. I post videos every Thursday, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!